panel to address that.
So it's open to the panel. Is it mandatory to learn coding to stay in jobs in the future?
I can go on and on about it because this is the business that we are in. Maybe I'll touch upon very small. I mean, I personally don't feel coding is mandatory from the fact that, because I think, I mean, very soon we'll get to no code environment and people will have to write some of their, and people can plug and play their own codes. But my personal take is that I think the ability to actually what Pradeep sir said, that look, the ability to learn and unlearn, I think coding does a very good job of that. The ability to sort of put things in a very sort of logical sequence, structured manner. That learning, I think, is a life skill, not as much as doing Python, Java, or C++, but just the logical thought process that definitely helps in what the future holds true for some of us, because a lot of jobs that we are doing, Vikram, very soon will get automated. So I think we automating it before others automate it is better, and therefore I think we all go to our next level. And coding is the same thing what, let's say, machines was earlier, that you can switch on an ignition engine and travel from point A to point B. I think coding does the same thing. So you need to know how to switch on the ignition engine. You perhaps you don't know how to necessarily sort of build the engine yourself, if I could sort of use that analogy.
Okay. Yeah, I would, strongly agree with that. Because, and especially going forward, right? Because, at the time I remember that we were learning coding. Actually, if you think about it, computing resource was actually a constraint, right? And therefore, a good coder used to write, efficient, elegant programs which would use less computing power. I mean, if you really think about it, that was the difference between, good coders and not so good coders. But now with computing power actually not being that much of a constraint, the pure coding thing is actually not that important. But if I look at the underlying thing behind it, what was it? You were learning a new language. You were learning how to, problem solve creatively. And you were, trying to do it in a constrained resource environment. So if you can keep that as the fundamental of the thing that you're learning, rather than language A versus language B, because I'm sure, if Python or C++ is relevant today, maybe 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line, that language is going to be, outdated, right? But the fact that you can do that, I think that's the thing which is there. The one other thing, at least my personal learning, has been, I joined the corporate this thing, and my belief was that what you know is the most important thing to succeed. And what you know is very important. But I think the softer skills around, are you able to convince others? Are you able to persuade others? Are you able to inspire others? Especially as you become more skilled, only what you know, that is the ticket to play. But in whether you're in a corporate or whether you're an entrepreneur, the ability to influence, inspire, motivate people becomes incredibly powerful. And that's where, if I talk to many of my friends from IIT, I think the part about being what we learned outside the class, whether it is in terms of the sports field or the elections, that's what really is the life skill which is helpful in the long run.
That's Hari, do you have anything to add?
Vikram, I had talked about technology. So, I think it is important to understand the impact of technology. It is important to understand what are the opportunities around that technology, rather than, being just an implementer of technology. So, if you know coding, it is just like implementing a technology. You have to look at a bigger picture.